So, sir, with your permission, shall we begin, sir?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
correct. Please.
Very good evening and welcome to one and all present here. Today we have gathered to celebrate the release of a much awaited book, Momentous Challenges in 2 Decades, authored by our Padma Bhushan, Justice K.T. Thomas, a former judge of the Supreme Court of India. Without further delay, may I now request Professor K. Suresh, Chief Executive of JSS Law College Autonomous, to start the session by welcoming the gathering.
Very good evening and welcome to virtual release of a book, Momentous Challenges in 2 Decades, written by Honorable Justice Mr. K.T. Thomas, former Judge, Supreme Court of India. The book is released today by none other than the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Uday, Umesh, Lalit, in the presence of host of other legal luminaries of the country who have joined us online. JSS Law College is fortunate to host this event as the first autonomous college of this country established in 1982. It is run by one of the oldest spiritual centers, Shri which presently has its centers spread across the globe with 2 universities and 315 students. It is headed by His Holiness Jagadguru Shri Shivratri Deshikendra Mahaswamiji. Despite his busy schedule, Honorable Justice, Chief Justice of India has agreed to release the book online. I am honored to extend warm welcome to Honorable Justice Uday, Umesh, Lalit to this program. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We are immensely grateful to Honorable Justice K.T. Thomas, the author of the book, for allowing us to host this event. I extend him very warm welcome. Welcome, Your Lordship. We have with us the who is who of Indian judiciary. They have affectionately responded to our invitation. I extend them all a very hearty welcome to this event. They are former Chief Justice of India, Honorable Justice Shri K.G. Balakrishnan, the Chief Justice of Kerala, Honorable Justice S. Manikumar, and companion judges of Kerala High Court, the former Chief Justice of Kerala, Honorable Justice S.R. Bannurmath, Honorable Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas, Kerala High Court, and Senior Advocate and former Attorney General of India, Shri K.K. Venugopal, Honorable Justice R. Basan, former Judge, High Court of Kerala, Honorable Justice V. Giri, former Judge, High Court of Kerala, Honorable Justice Thomas P. Joseph, former Judge, High Court of Kerala, and Dr. Binu Pratap Thomas, Professor, Christian Medical College, Vellore, is with us and is going to speak on the book. We also have with us online judges of higher judiciary, subordinate judiciary of different states, advocates, students, and general public. I once again welcome all of you to this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Binu Pratap Thomas, Professor at Christian Medical College, Vellore, and Justice K.T. Thomas' eldest son, who has translated this book, which is originally published in Malayalam, to its present English version. I request Dr. Binu to introduce the book to the audience.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Honorable Mr. Justice U.U. Lalit, Chief Justice of India, other legal luminaries and friends. It is indeed an honor for me to address this august gathering, which includes great legal minds of India on the occasion of the virtual book release titled Momentous Challenges in 2 Decades, authored by Justice K.T. Thomas, my father, or Appa as we children call him. My claim to address this gathering, as mentioned, is the fact that I helped my father translate the original version of the book written in Malayalam to its current English version. My father has been an avid writer since his retirement as judge of the Supreme Court and has authored 9 other books before this one. He dealt with constitutional, social, and political issues in 8 of his previous books. The book titled Honeybees of Solomon was autobiographical in nature and described the period during his life as a Supreme Court judge, district judge, High Court judge, lawyer, till his retirement in 2002. This book, The Momentous Challenges in 2 Decades, is a sequel to the Honeybees of Solomon and discusses various challenges, triumphs, and tribulations he encountered and his response to these for the 2 decades following his retirement from the Supreme Court, when he undertook various responsibilities entrusted by the central and state governments. When you read the book, the reader will realize that Justice Thomas never really retired. He was actively involved in major issues such as deciding the fee structure of self-financing professional colleges and the supervision of admission of students to these colleges in Kerala state. He spearheaded Police Reforms Commission for the state of Kerala and recommended various reforms, many of which have been implemented by the erstwhile governments, and this is discussed also in this book. The inquiry about the Noida scam and the report submitted by Justice Thomas to the Supreme Court resulted in prosecution of senior IAS officers, and this makes interesting reading. The Justice K.T. Thomas and Falias Nariman committees to review the Prevention of Damage to Public Property, or the PDPP Act, was constituted by the Supreme Court, and their recommendations and its impacts are also discussed in the book. We can also read about the rise in national ranking of the National Law School Bangalore to first place following the recommendations of the Statutory Review Committee constituted under his chairmanship to suggest reforms in the working of the law school. One of the most debated subjects in Kerala was the Mullaperiyar Dam issue between Kerala and Tamil Nadu. After many years of discord and debates, the Supreme Court constituted an empowered committee to report on the safety of the dam. The committee had Dr. A.S. Anand, former Chief Justice of India, as its chairman, and former Supreme Court Judge Justice A.R. Lakshmanan, nominated by the Tamil Nadu government, and Justice K.T. Thomas, nominated by the Kerala government, as members. Two dam safety experts, Dr. Thatte and Mehta, were also other members. In spite of enormous social and political pressures, especially from Kerala, my father was convinced from the reports of the experts on dam safety that the Mullaperiyar dam was safe, and unhesitatingly recommended this to the court. The fallouts of these recommendations were massive in Kerala and would normally have a deleterious effect on most mortals. My father, however, stood steadfast against the vituperations by the political class and many members of the media. I feel proud to read and understand the honesty, integrity, clarity of thought, and strength of purpose of my father via the various instances referred to in this book. These strengths are without doubt why he was also conferred the Padma Bhushan and many other commendations, and recently nominated as one of the trustees of the PM Cares Fund. I am sure that this book will be of immense value to students of law, lawyers, and judges of the present and future to imbibe the sense of honesty, integrity, and self-belief when dealing with complex legal and social challenges in their career. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Binu, for the wonderful introduction. I now request the esteemed author, Justice K.T. Thomas, to address the august audience.
Yes, thank you. May I start by expressing my great gratitude to the Chief Justice of India, Justice Uday Lalit, for agreeing to formally release my book. It was my desire, as he is for me a unique person, in the sense that he had, as advocate, argued many cases before me when I was a judge of the Supreme Court. Till now, he is the only person who, as advocate, presented arguments before me and later reached the highest position of the Chief Justice of India. I wrote this present book originally in Malayalam, as is mentioned here, and it was translated by my son, Dr. Binu Pratap Thomas. Binu Pratap Thomas, actually, he studied in Kottayam Medical College for both MBBS and MS in orthopedics, and then he went to America, Louisville, for studying a special subject as hand surgery. Now he is the head of the department of Christian Medical College for that particular. I had great faith in his proficiency in English, and he had to undergo an operation for his knee and remained without any work for 3 months. Then he offered that I'll translate this book into English, because by faith in him is now proof. If you read the book and the language in English and the proficiency and the vocabulary he had commanded. This book in Malayalam was actually published by DC Books, and the English version is also published by the DC Books. DC Books is a premier book publishing establishment in India. All my books, except a few, were actually printed and published by DC Books. And they have got an enormous network throughout India. And therefore, it can be made available either through online or Amazon or Flipkart. Their machinery is so vast. I'm very, very grateful to the managing director of DC Books, Ravi DC. These books contain facts in brief, what all I faced, what all I did after my retirement from Supreme Court. As 2 decades passed, after my retirement, I gave its title as seen now. When I returned from Supreme Court, I decided not to accept any salaried post, including either the state government or the government of India. 2 offers were made to me, one on the Law Commission of India and the other National Human Rights Commission. In fact, National Human Rights Commission, the President of India had appointed me. With great difficulty, I sought his permission to decline the appointment because I thought I could spend my time in a better way by living in my hometown. On the day of my retirement, Justice Umapal asked me how I proposed to spend my time after retirement. I told her I intended to write a book containing my experiences as a legal practitioner and as a judge. I wrote that book in English with the title Honeybees of Solomon. It was published by Universal LexisNexis publication. The Malayalam book, as I mentioned earlier, was published by DC Books. And I learned that both establishments made it possible to have very, very wide sale for the book. For the present book, I decided that the first copy could be given to Shri K.T. Venugopal, the former Attorney General. There are 2 reasons for my request. One is that he had impressed me as one of the formidable lawyers of India when I was a judge of the Supreme Court. His arguments were so astute and insurmountable in many cases. And I had the privilege of hearing him learn this. The second reason is that after my retirement, he once visited me in my house and requested me to accept an assignment as the honorary professor on constitutional law for Barrister M.K. Nambiar Chair in Kannur University. I readily accepted it, and that fact is mentioned in the present book. Therefore, I requested the organizers to make an approach to Mr. Venugopal. I said I am confident that he will agree, provided his health permits. I am very, very happy that he is present today. My association with Justice K.T. Balakrishnan started when we together became the judges of the High Court of Kerala, and very rarely that we continued to be colleagues up to the Supreme Court. So I requested him also to participate in this function. I'm happy that he is also present today. This function is organized on the initiative of Kumar Nair of JSS Law College, Mysore. I feel my words are not enough to express my gratitude to the principal and staff of the JSS Law College. I once again express my profound gratitude to the Chief Justice of India and all others who participate in this function. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your glorious words, Mr. Justice Thomas. Today we have with us Shri K.K. Venugopal, learned senior advocate at the Honorable Supreme Court of India and former Attorney General for India. I request K.K. Venugopal sir to speak a few words on this occasion.
Thank you. Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Jury Lalit, eminent judges who are there participating, and the other members who are going to participate and speak. This is indeed a very significant occasion where in the virtual gathering to launch the book Momentous Challenges in 2 decades, authored by Justice K.T. Thomas. I think it's wonderful that he has chosen to pen down the second memoir, chronicling his experiences in the later years of his life. It's indeed a challenging task to pen down one's memoirs, as one would never know what to include and what to exclude. I'm having that experience because I have already my brothers and sisters and others have already prepared a small family album to be circulated among the family members on my father's life. But today we have started an enterprise by which a full-fledged memoir and autobiography of my father would be published. Now, for that, I share the same problem because what is it that we have to include? What is it that we have to exclude? And as someone once said, human memory awakens and extinguishes at will. It dulls and sharpens actions, enlarges and shrinks those who perform before them. It humbles and exalts as it desires. When summoned, it slips away. And when it returns, it will do so at the time and place that suits it. And this has been my experience. I want to remember something, somebody's name, somebody's face, and I find that I'm unable to recollect because even though it's closely related, even then. But suddenly, when I'm brushing my teeth, I remember that name. And this is all due to old age, but that can't be helped. It's worth mentioning. Justice Thomas says, led a distinguished life. His memories are of a valuable nature. And as with his first book, Honeybees of Solomon, this book will certainly be a source of guidance to the younger lawyers. He has promised to send me a copy of that book. It's worth mentioning that Justice Thomas was and continues to be a leading light in the legal field. His incisive acumen, particularly in the field of criminal law, is well known at the bar. I've had experiences of appearing before, and I'm afraid many other times he rejected my plea in my cases. During his tenure, he delivered a series of landmark judgments which continue to hold the field and are cited regularly with even today in the Supreme Court of India, especially on criminal law. The distinguishing feature that I have always found in the judgment delivered by Justice Thomas is that they exemplify a harmonious meeting between broader constitutional principles and practical common sense. For example, in Panchi and others versus State of UP, Justice Thomas took a nuanced approach to capital sentencing by holding that the mere brutality of a crime should not by itself determine as to whether a death sentence should be awarded. The court should also consider other circumstances in which the incident occurred, past animosity between the parties, etc. But I found that the Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Lalit, has taken up the same issue, but in a different context, because he is going into the question as to whether there should be mitigating circumstances, where perhaps on account of the atmosphere in which the child was brought up, the quarrels which they have had within the family itself, and the various traumatic experiences which a young man must have had, all this may have contributed to his embarking upon a activity which attracted the death sentence. Now, that matter has been referred by Justice Lalit to a larger bench. And I think this is a very important step in regard to reformation of convicts who are facing the death sentence, if it is converted into or commuted to a life sentence. In Nirmal Kanti Roy versus State of West Bengal, Justice Thomas examined the contours of Section 167(5) of the Code of Criminal Procedure, interpreting the section to hold that the failure of the investigating agency to file the charge sheet within time would not automatically entitle an accused person to discharge, and that the magistrate retained the discretion to extend the time period for investigation if there are good reasons for doing so. He has delivered several notable landmark judgments, including the judgment in Sundar versus Union of India, where speaking for a constitutional bench, he held that the interest should be payable on solation under the Land Requisition Act. The judgment continues to hold the field today on the topic. Now, there are very many quotable extracts which one could go on, and one of which really impressed me was where in the state of Gujarat versus Gujarat, the High Court of Gujarat said, it's a grand transformation recorded in the epics that the hunter Valmiki turned out to be a poet of eternal recognition. If the powers which brought about that transformation had remained inactive, the world would have been poorer without the great epic Ramayana. History is replete with instances of bad persons transforming into men of great usefulness to humanity. The causes which would influence such string may be of various kinds. Forces which condemn a prisoner and consign him to the cell as a case of irremediable character belong to the pessimistic society which lacks a vision to see the innate good in man. In fact, the decisions of Justice Thomas in the field of criminal law were so highly regarded that after his retirement, the CBI published a book containing all his important decisions rendered by him in the area of criminal law. And Justice Thomas, being a true academic, has already authored 7 books on various subjects, both legal and non-legal. I always found him to be a very simple person and down to earth. And upon retirement, except, and even after being given the chance to remain in Delhi, as he mentioned just now, in a post-retirement post, he chose instead to return to Kerala. And that, according to me, was my good fortune, because when I started a chair in constitutional law in my father's name in the Kannur University, I had to find out as to who would be prepared to take it. And I thought of Justice Thomas. I went to him and made a fervent request to him to accept the post. And though I knew it would put him to great inconvenience to travel all the way from Kotan, where he had retired to Kannur, it would certainly be a great asset to the university if no less than Justice K.T. Thomas agreed to be the chair. And he did that, undertook the effort, not for 1 year, but as many as 18 years. I'm eternally grateful to him because I have established a number of chairs in different universities, national universities, and I'm satisfied that this is the best possible chair, which has been extremely useful to the students of the Kannur University. I recollect that there was a time several years ago when, so far as this is concerned, and I had insisted, this is almost entirely this incident has been recounted by Justice Thomas himself in his latest publication, and I stand by the sentiments that I had expressed even then. I wish this publication all success, and I am sure that it will be a valuable addition to the very many personal libraries of the lawyers as well as non-lawyers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shri K.K. Venugopalji, for speaking your heart out and for acknowledging your high regard to Justice K.T. Thomas with your warm words. On this special day, we also have with us Honorable Chief Justice K.G. Balakrishnan, former Chief Justice of India. I request Chief Justice Balakrishnan to speak a few words on this occasion. Over to you, sir.
My dear friend Justice K.T. Thomas, distinguished Chief Justice U. Lalit, Mr. Manikumar, Justice Manikumar, present Chief Justice of Kerala High Court, Mr. Venugopal, the former Attorney General, Mr. Bannurmath, former Chief Justice of the Kerala High Court, other distinguished guests and celebrities. I'm very happy to participate in this function. Many of the narratives in the book, I know the details and all. I am very happy to go through these matters because my association with Thomas, we started as a lawyer in Kottayam district, and when became a judge in Kerala High Court, we were together, had so many criminal cases, and one even the first time a murder case was heard by a 3-judge bench. That myself and Justice Thomas and another judge. There's a very, very sensational case in those days. Then in Supreme Court also we were together. So my association with Justice Thomas is long, for a long period. I am happy to read this book, and this function also has been well charted by this college. I am sure that this book will give in-depth, will give details of how they will improve our judicial literature, because there is a dearth of judicial literature in this country. In all other countries, in America and all, a series of books have been written by the very eminent jurists and judges, and but we have a lack of such contribution. And this book by Justice Thomas is certainly an addition to our judicial literature. It will improve, and the young generation, young lawyers will read and understand, and how the judges in those days worked hard to render justice. Thank you very much for inviting me to this function. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Justice K.G. Balakrishnan, sir, for sharing your views on the book. Moving ahead, I now request Honorable Mr. Justice S.R. Bannurmath, former Chief Justice of the High Court of Kerala, to share his ideas of the book. Over to you, Justice Bannurmath.
Justice Bannurmath.
Justice Bannurmath, would you please unmute?
Yeah.
Yes.
Respected Honorable Chief Justice, Justice U. Lalit ji, respected Honorable Justice Balakrishnan, former Chief Justice of India, Honorable Justice Manikumar, the present Chief Justice of Kerala, respected Honorable Justice Bechu Thomas, Judge of the High Court, and all brother judges, respected K.K. Venugopal ji, former Attorney General of India, and all the other dignitaries. And most importantly, Padma Bhushan, Honorable Justice K.T. Thomas, sir, the modern day Solomon, as we know, who was the legendary emperor and our wisest judge of Jerusalem. Professor Suresh and all the faculties of Justice Law College, Dr. Binu Thomas, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my greatest privilege to attend this function, which has provided me an opportunity to pay my respects to the great judge and especially a great human being. I'm grateful to the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Being interested in criminal justice system as a lawyer, as a state public prosecutor, as a Karnataka High Court judge, as well as assisted sometime in with Justice Malimar in the reforms of criminal justice system. I was always interested and impressed by the judgments of Honorable Justice Thomas Sirji. As I felt, the decisions are unique in the sense, here was a judge who does not follow the law in the statute book blindly, but has always tried to find out the truth in the case and then also give a humanitarian touch. In 2009, when I was appointed as Chief Justice of Kerala, I took the earliest opportunity to meet him and take his blessings. His advice helped me a lot to carry out effectively the duties of Chief Justice of Kerala. Thereafter, whenever I was in Kottayam, I never missed an opportunity to take blessings from him as well as advice, which I kept on carrying it out. Sometimes he used to scold me also some of my judgments. But when I explained why, then he said, fine, go ahead. So all along, as long as I was in Kerala, he was advising me as to how to be a good judge. His judgments, views, reports, and articles are very inspiring. Recently, after my appointment as the chairman of Karnataka Law Commission, there was an incident of mob violence and large number of private and public properties were destroyed. And the government asked me to look into that. And immediately, it came to my mind the report of 2007 by Justice Thomas J, wherein on the subject of prevention of destruction of public and private properties, Destruction of Public Properties Act. Then I have now, of course, framed it as Destruction of Public and Private Properties Act. Similarly, based on his report on police reforms, which is one of the best reports I have seen, I'm working on the amendments to the state law also. I was fortunate to receive from him the signed copy of the Honeybees of Solomon, in which he has written his experience as judge at all levels. I just glimpsed the present book, Momentous Challenges in 2 decades. Sir has spent his life from the date of his retirement in 2007 till now, mentioning happy events, sad events as a sthita prajna, along with certain legal topics, which shows his sense of justice and concern for betterment of society even at this age. Like the previous book, this book will also serve as a guidance to the younger generation. Sir, I pray the Almighty to bless you with a century, Jivet Sharadam Shatam, and my pranams to this great personality. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Justice S.R. Bannurmath, for your warm words. We have with us today His Lordship Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas, Judge of the High Court of Kerala. I request your Lordship to address the audience.
Thank you, Pranab. Chief Justice of India, Justice Lalit, former Chief Justice of India, Honorable Justice K.T Balakrishnan, the Honorable Chief Justice of Kerala, Justice S. Manikumar, former Chief Justice of Kerala, Justice Bannurmath, Senior Advocate and former Attorney General, revered Shri K.K. Venugopal, Principal of JSS Law College, Dr. S. Nataraj, Professor K.S. Suresh, the Chief Executive of JSS Law College, Pranab Kumar Nair, the brain behind this show, distinguished judges, those online listening to this function, a warm good evening to all of you. At the outset, I know my job is not a vote of thanks, but I must, from my heart of hearts, confess that we, the family of Justice K.T. Thomas, is deeply indebted to JS's Law College and especially Pranab Kumar Nair, for it is they who have organized this event and not us. We came to know, though we were informed about the program, we came to know about the schedule only 2 days back. Everything from the top to the end was planned and arranged by them. Thank you, JSS Law College and Pranab. In the autumn of one's life, people tend to withdraw to themselves and enjoy reminiscing the vicissitudes of their lives. When Appa, or Justice K.T. Thomas, returned to his hometown post-retirement, we, his family and friends, thought that he would cocoon himself, enjoying the solitude of his home. We always heard him pre-retirement saying that I want to come back to Kottayam, enjoy my friendship with my old schoolmates and college mates. The decision to write his autobiography titled Honeybees of Solomon was looked upon as an indication of his intent about retired life in every sense of the term. The truth of the fact is that even retirement could not contain him. Except for court work, his routine remained the same from the day after retirement till today. Waking up in the early hours of the day with a prayer and returning back to bed again with a prayer at night, filling the interregnum with reading and social activities. Retirement life was fodder for his penchant for reading. House remained bustling with people from all walks of life, seeking help and sound advice. Though I have been the biggest critic of his judgments and his views, with practically arguments starting from morning till evening between both of us, I have always looked upon him with awe for the clarity of his thought and the strength of his conviction. Disregarding the public criticisms, he minces no words to speak on what he is convinced about. Any opinion sought from him is studied with a passion, and with exhaustive homework, he comes up with a stance truly without fear of favor or without any considerations of parochialism, religion, or relationship. His deep sense of justice and the strength of his conviction is evident even after retirement in every issue that he has dealt with in the last 2 decades. All along, Appa has disapproved of judges accepting post-retirement appointments. However, I vividly remember telling him that the expertise and experience of a judge ought to be utilized for the benefit of the society, even post-retirement. And since he receives a pension, he should take it up such offers without accepting any fee. The chairmanship of every committee that he has accepted post-retirement was done without any financial remuneration. However, when the Supreme Court appointed him to mediate on an issue pertaining to Sabrimala, a professional fee was fixed as a remuneration by the judicial order, which he could not obviously violate. However, I say with pride that he, instead of using that fee to himself, transferred that amount as a scholarship fund for the children of the pilgrims from less privileged backgrounds. It is every year the fund is being utilized for the benefit of the pilgrims as a scholarship. The last 20 years of his life have been exciting, challenging, and truly momentous. His life has impacted many, including all of his family members, and it continues to be a beacon of hope in the land of lakes, latex, and letters. I must say in all sincerity, and to take a cue from Rudyard Kipling's famous poem, If, that every minute of his last 20 years was filled with 60 seconds worth of distance run. This book traverses those times and can act as a route map for all of us looking towards retirement in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Lordship, for your words and for all the help and support in organizing this event as well. It gives me immense pleasure to announce that we have now reached the most awaited moment of the day, and I consider it my privilege to request His Lordship, Honorable Mr. Justice Uday Umesh Lalit, the Chief Justice of India, to release the book. I also request the other panelists to join His Lordship, the Chief Justice, and raise the book for a photograph. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. May I now request His Lordship, the Chief Justice of India, to grace the occasion with his valuable words.
Thank you. Honorable Mr. Justice K.G. Balakrishnan, former Chief Justice of India. Honorable Mr. Justice K.T. Thomas, former Judge of the Supreme Court of India and author of this wonderful book. Honorable Chief Justice, Kerala High Court, Shri Justice Manikumar. Honorable former Chief Justice of Kerala High Court, Justice Bannurmath. Honorable Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas, Judge, High Court of Kerala. All the other judges and former judges of Kerala High Court who are connected to this program. Honorable Shri K.K. Venugopal, the evergreen person, the former Attorney General and Senior Advocate. The principal and the faculty of JSS Law College who are associated with this wonderful launch. Dr. Thomas, who made such wonderful introduction, and he is responsible for translating this book from Malayalam into English. All the other dignitaries who are present today and who are connected through virtual mode. It's a very unique occasion that I had appeared before Justice Thomas on a number of occasions. As he rightly said right in the beginning, in 7 years of his tenure as Judge of the Supreme Court, I must have appeared in a number of matters before him. In number of matters, I came to be appointed as amicus curiae. One of the major matters where he appointed me as amicus curiae was Sham Sahib Multani. And the way he conducted that matter, for a youngster like me, it was a great lesson. When any youngster of those years who had appeared before Justice Thomas, what would always stand out was his clarity of thought. Whatever he decided, whatever he dealt with, there was great clarity of thought. Number two, as Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas mentioned, strength of his conviction, courage of conviction. Whatever he decided, it was not dilly-dallying. It was always with great clarity and what he wanted to decide. And third and foremost was great sense of compassion. Compassion for those for whom the sword of justice must assure that the fruits of litigation must inure to their advantage. Compassion for those who were deprived, who were actually the persons who were marginalized. At every juncture, this frame of mind was always visible in whatever he did. It is this unique combination of these courage of conviction, compassion, and clarity, which made Justice Thomas what he was and what he is presently. It is that courage, it is that compassion which keeps him going even after 20 years, and as rightly said by Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas, he is just the same person, except that rather than going to the courts of law, he is now devoting all that time to do whatever is the best possible outlet for his creativity. And he has come out with 9 books, which is nothing but a fantastic show of ability and creativity for somebody who retired about 20 years back. Whatever he has done in public life, his suggestions on police reforms, those suggestions were noted with great kind of honor and great acceptance in Prakash Singh case, which was decided by 3 judges of this court. His suggestions on other issues, which was dealt with by just Mr. Venugopal, the fact that he has been so acclaimed and so acknowledged, his ability, is evident from the award of Padma Bhushan, one of the highest civilian awards to any individual which can be conferred by the president. He has also been found to be worthy to be trustee of PM Cares Fund, which is also a unique honor which has been bestowed on Justice K.T. Thomas. All in all, what we have today is a great soul who has taken birth on this planet just to serve the mankind. And that part is so evident in last 20 years of what he has done. I felt great honor that Justice Thomas, and the message came that if I would be willing to join this program, I said more than willing, because anything connected with Justice Thomas that is taken as a privilege for any person who had appeared before him, who had practiced in that court. We are, whatever I have learned from the judges of the Supreme Court, and Justice Thomas is one of those premier judges who was my teacher here in Supreme Court, who taught us the nuances of criminal law, who taught us everything, what dispensation of justice is. As I said, I appeared before him in a number of matters, won some, lost some. So one such matter which I lost before him was of a judicial officer who was proceeded against by the High Court of Bombay. And it was a lost battle for me, but I was still carrying that flame and argued with great gusto. But I lost it. And some of the observations made by Justice Thomas are so crucial that in today's world, we must all be guided by whatever his observations were made in that case. If I may just quote his observations, and this is something, a quotation from his judgment in High Court of Judicature at Bombay versus Shashikant Patil, 2000, Volume 1 SCC 416. And the observations go like this. The lymph nodes of corruption constantly keep creeping into vital veins of the judiciary, and the need to stem it out by judicial surgery lies on the judiciary itself by its self-imposed or corrective measures or disciplinary action under the doctrine of control enshrined in Articles 235 and 124(6) of the Constitution. It would therefore be necessary that there should be constant vigil by the High Court concerned on its subordinate judiciary and self-introspection. This is what he did, and he did not spare that judicial officer who was on the wrong side of law. I lost the case, but I learned a great lesson. A lesson that what a judge has to be, and to what extent this judicial surgery has to be taken resort to. That's what I say. that I have learned from great stalwarts before whom I had the occasion, the privilege to appear, and Justice K.T. Thomas was a leading name and will always be a leading name in my mind. So here am I, of course, in a different capacity, but as student of law and as student of Justice K.T. Thomas, I take it as my privilege that the organizers approached me, asked me to be here. Of course, as I said, I was always more than willing, but yes, they chose me to be here, and that's something which I'll always cherish. Thank you, Justice Thomas, and good luck to the entire family. And today it's a great privilege to see you with two sons of yours. I had never seen Dr. Thomas, but this is a wonderful opportunity. I had met Justice Thomas, yes, Bechu Kurian Thomas, but it's a great, great opportunity. Wish you all the best, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, my Lord, the Chief Justice of India, for your glorious words acknowledging your high regard to Justice K.T. Thomas. It was indeed a pleasure to have you with us on this special day. As we come to the end of today's function, I request Professor Dr. S. Nataraju, Principal of JSS Law College Autonomous, to propose the formal vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Namaskara. Good evening, everybody. Respected distinguished dignitaries of today's program, respected guests of honor, other invitees who are present through online and offline mode, faculty members, and my dear students. I consider it's a privilege to express our deepest gratitude and sincere thanks to all of you. At the outset, I express our heartfelt thanks to Honorable Mr. Justice Uday Umesh Lalit, Chief Justice of India. Your Lordship has kind enough to accept our invitation and read the book and enlighten us on this auspicious occasion. On behalf of JSS Law College, Niti Forum, I express our sincere gratitude to you, sir. Also thank Honorable Mr. Justice K.T. Thomas, sir, former Judge, Supreme Court of India, who is the author of this book, who has shared his view on this occasion. I express our sincere gratitude and thanks to Honorable Mr. Justice K.T. Thomas, sir. Our thanks are due to Honorable Mr. Justice K.G. Balakrishnan, former Chief Justice of Supreme Court of India, who has consented to be the Chief Guest of the day and address all of us. I express our heartfelt thanks to you, sir. I express our deep sense of gratitude and sincere thanks to other dignitaries who have consented to grace the occasion. I sincerely thank Honorable Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, Chief Justice, High Court of Kerala, and his companion judges of High Court of Kerala. Our heartfelt thanks to Honorable Mr. Justice Shri S.R. Bannurmath, sir, former Chief Justice, High Court of Kerala, for sharing his view. Thank you, sir. I profusely thank Honorable Mr. Justice Bechu Kurian Thomas, Judge, High Court of Kerala. I sincerely thank Shri K.K. Venugopal, sir, Senior Advocate and former Attorney General of India. Also thank Dr. Binu Pratap Thomas, Professor, Christian Medical College, Vellore. I express our sincere gratitude and heartfelt thanks to Honorable Mr. Justice R. Basant, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India and former Judge, High Court of Kerala. I sincerely thank Honorable Mr. Justice V. Giri, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India and former Judge, High Court of Kerala. I thank Honorable Mr. Justice Thomas P. Joseph, former Judge, High Court of Kerala. I sincerely thank the family members of Honorable Mr. Justice K.T. Thomas, sir. Our special thanks to publisher DC Books and their representatives. I also thank our Professor K. Suresh, Chief Executive of our college, the organizers, Niti Forum of JSS Law College. I thank all those who made this day as memorable one. I thank teaching and administrative staff, students. Lastly, I thank one and all. Thank you.
Taking your leave for the day, I thank each and every one of you for having been part of this event and making it a grand success. Jai.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't want first, Namana.